election petition rests solely on the petitioner. And the standard, your lordship, is on a balance of probabilities. That is the provision of section 80, subsection 3 of the Parliamentary Elections Act. My lord, we have provided two decisions on how the courts have treated the burden and standard of proof. The first authority, your lordship, is at page 236. The authority of Tolit Simon Akecha versus Olanya Jacob and EC. But the actual holding, my lord, is at page 241. Same volume we have been using, volume 1. There, my lord, of course, their lordships restated that the burden of proof, the page number where the holding is, my lord, is at 241 of volume 1 of our band of authorities. I was saying, my lord, that their lordships restated that the burden rests on the petitioner and it's on a balance of probabilities. But the catching thing in that decision, my lord, is that courts, before and after, one would wonder why, before and after, sent mixed signals about the standard of proof of the grounds for annulling an election petition. My lord, as far back as 2011, in that decision, the Court of Appeal said, please do not be confused about the standard. The standard of proof for all grounds in an election petition is on a balance of probabilities. My lord, that same position is repeated in Paul Mwiru versus Nebeta Nathan. My lord, that decision is on page 253, but the actual holding is on 281. That is also a 2011 decision. The actual holding is on page 280 and it stops at 281. Now, my lord, let me make this point also very clear. Even after Kakoza John Baptist, Supreme Court, 2009, even after these two decisions I have referred to, some decisions at the High Court and some at the Court of Appeal continue to confuse the standard. That on offenses, it is slightly higher than the balance of probabilities. These three decisions I have referred to, my lord, tell you that when you are proving grounds for annulling an election petition, the standard is the same, balance of probabilities. Now, my lord, that position I'm talking about has now been settled by the Court of Appeal. Last round of elections, in the case of Owebei versus EC and another. Owebei versus EC and another. That authority, my lord, is at page 288. The actual holding is on page 299. So, my lord, there should be no confusion, therefore, as we progress with the case about what the burden is. I have admitted it rests on the petitioner, and the standard of proof for all the grounds is on a balance of probabilities. Yes, my lord, that's what Webbe says. My lord, the authority, the actual holding is at page 299. Yes. (299) is the actual holding. It says, previously, there was indeed some controversy on the standard of proof in election petition. This court in her decision, Faridah Nambi Mubanda, Mary Babire Kabanda, recently put the matter to rest by finding that the standard of proof set out in section 61.3 now it is 83, of the PEA, which provides that any ground, the word any, my lord, is catchy, any ground specified under 61(1) shall be proved on a balance of probabilities. My lord, my lord, it says any ground, and election offences are part of section 61(1). Well, my lord, our interpretation of this officer, the theory that we have given you, and even, by the way, my lord, in Kakoza John Baptist, I'll get to it later, but that's in that case, my lord, the Supreme Court found bribery in Kakoza John Baptist, and it was proved on a balance of probabilities. I will refer to it on other issues. I think that we have already referred to it. Yeah. We have actually already referred to it, my lord. If you could go back on it. It's at 210. Yes, but let me double check, my lord. Yes. My lord, what I'm saying in Kakoza, John Baptist, is that my lord, I hadn't lost my mind to a specific issue. All right, I haven't, I didn't address my mind on that point in that decision, but the point I was making, my lord, is that in this decision of Kakoza John Baptist, and in the decision, by the way, my lord, of Mukasa Anthony Harris, which you have not provided because we didn't anticipate that issue to come, Mukasa Anthony Harris, both of the Supreme Court. Actually, my lord, the standard that I've been referring to in all of the three decisions I've just referred to, we are saying that in Mukasa Anthony Harris, the Supreme Court has guided that the standard for all grounds is on a balance of probabilities. My lord, we shall provide that authority of Mukasa Anthony Harris. That's where all of this decision I'm referring to, we are saying the Supreme Court clarified that for all of them, it is on a balance of probabilities. Mukasa Anthony Harris versus Dr. Lorumeba Igalinde. Supreme Court, we shall provide that decision, my lord. And it is that all of these authorities of the Court of Appeal, even Owe Bay, that I've just cited, my lord, refer to. Now, my lord, I will be content that I have discharged the burden and the standard if I am able to convince your lordship as a reasonable tribunal that a fact is more probable than not. That's what balance of probabilities means. That taking into account the evidence of the petitioner and that of the respondent, a fact is more probable than not. That is what the standard of balance of probabilities means. My lord, that is the decision of Miller versus Minister of Pensions. So if I attain that standard, my lord, and you're convinced, page 383, that's where the holding is. 383 is where the actual holding